5 evil covenants that you should know about. Ladies and gentlemen, the more you know, the more you function. The less you know, the less you function. Number 1, ancestral covenants. When we talk about ancestral covenants, we are talking about inherited giants. This is more than a bloodline problem, but this is a generational problem. In the year 2019, I prayed for a lady who in the middle of the night, a man spoke through her. And of course, she was with the man that was about to marry her. And this is what the man said, the one who spoke through her: leave my property alone. It was after deliverance where we realized that her father, her own biological father, went to an unholy place and sacrificed his daughters. She is born in a family where she already belongs to somebody spiritually. She's not aware of it. She was never part of it. She didn't agree to it. But somebody who came before her made a decision that was affecting her life. She tried everything in relationships and nothing ever worked. And when she was about to get a breakthrough of her life, this man who claims she belonged to him is now fighting for his own property. This is where we deal with things that manipulates families to produce same results. Where one can be as educated as they can be, certificated, you name it, but there'll be nothing to show for it. It's more like there is something that is controlling the outcome of this family or these individuals. It doesn't matter. Ancestral covenants are so dangerous that they don't just deal with you. They deal with you, your children, and your children's children. And those that came before you were conquered by the same thing. Number 2, sexual covenants. Sexual covenants. These are covenants that are sealed when 2 people are involved. Where 2 unmarried people, so to say, even married people, listen to me and hear me very well. Because sex is more than a feeling. Sex is more than a feeling that gives you goosebumps experience. But sex is spiritual. Hence the Bible will put it this way: he who lays with the harlot is one with the harlot. Meaning whatever belonged to the harlot now belongs to you. And whatever belonged to you now belongs to the harlot. And of course you have heard of STD, sexual transmitted diseases. But have you heard of the spiritual STD, which is the sexual transmitted demons? One will say, but doctor, I use condom. Listen to me. Condom will protect you from an unwanted pregnancy, but it will never, and it can never protect you from unwanted demons. This is so dangerous that every time you sleep with somebody, you download what is theirs and you make it yours. So these are covenants that has been troubling many people for a long time. Number 3, verbal covenants. The word or the name on its own says it all. Verbal covenants. These are covenants that one makes through vows, promises, words. When you read the Bible, you realize that David and Jonathan were one in soul. They were in a covenant that they ended up being one, but they never slept together. But how were they one? Through words. They loved each other so much that they started giving each other words that made them one. This is dangerous because later on, the vows and the promises you made to certain individuals start hunting you. And we have a lot of people who make promises to the dead. That those promises and vows that they made to the dead will start haunting their lives. That even if they themselves die before they fulfill those promises or vows, those spirits will hunt their children. Even in relationships, we have seen people saying, I will not live without you. I will not do that without you. this is something that is dangerous. I wish I had more time to explain it. Number 4, symbolic covenants. Symbolic covenants, we are talking about inherited tokens, symbols, where one is given a token, and this token is said to be protecting the whole generation or the whole family, or your grandmother gives you and say, this one, it protected me or protected my mother, and it's going to protect you. Or hold on to this covenant symbol that will cause you to have money, or everything you do, you will prosper because of this. And not knowing that in the spirit, the currency of the immortals is sacrifice. Meaning the currency of the spiritual realm or spiritual world is sacrifice. So you get hold of that token and you know nothing about sacrifices, and your life becomes the sacrifice. Things you love and value, your career, becomes now the sacrifice. So these are dangerous things that I wish I had more time to talk about. Number 5, demonic covenants. The word on its own says it all. Where somebody now goes to Satan himself, look for Satan himself in different places, just so that Satan can make him wealthy or make her wealthy, and enters into such covenants. And guess what happens? A covenant is an agreement, as we all know. But what strengthens the covenant is a sacrifice. And the higher the sacrifice, the stronger the covenant. We saw it in the Bible in the terms of the man called Balaam and the man called Balak, where he had to build 7 altars. And in each altar, he had to sacrifice 7 animals. About 49 up to 50 something animals were sacrificed. And that's when he was convinced that when he curses the children of Israel, it will work. Ladies and gentlemen, life is not a rehearsal. And life is as spiritual as it is physical. And believe it or not, what controls your life in the spirit controls your life here. And remember what Paul said, we wrestle not against flesh and blood, but against principalities, wickedness, rulers of darkness. And there are family things that you yourself, you still need to eradicate out of your life and your generation. One will say, but apostle, doctor, I'm a Christian, I'm born again. How does now that come to me, reach me? Let me help you. The devil can get to you. Doesn't matter born again or not born again, or can get where you are. Remember Jesus said to Peter, get thee behind me, devil. How did the devil get himself where Jesus was? There is a difference between being possessed, being attacked, and having a spirit attached to you. So these kind of covenants, they are not attacking you. They are not possessing you, but they are attached to you. And you will need to disconnect yourself from them.